can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on with your building?
So we're a nonprofit social enterprise, and one of our social enterprises is housing. So we got a lease agreement with ACU August of 2020, and that lease agreement is up, and we've got a couple extensions. So we're self-funded by our social enterprise revenue streams. But the fact of the matter is we don't have the money for the down payment on this building because we've been too busy, even when we didn't receive funding, feeding and housing and clothing and laundering 86 people's stuff, supporting them. So, and then we applied for Rapid Housing Initiative money 3 or 4 times, and we were denied. Yeah, we were even denied. There was the city stream, and then there was a project stream, and we were denied that funding, even though we're already doing the work. And what we're doing is incredibly successful. We're taking people from homelessness and despair, the most marginalized and vulnerable, and now they're living and thriving and employed, with us.
That must be really frustrating for you to go through all that.
Yeah, what's frustrating is that nobody cares. All 3 levels of government don't care about these people. It's shameful. The social return on investment is huge. We're saving money. And you know what we need afterwards? We need nothing. We don't need any more money. It's not like we're looking at ongoing funding. That's not going to help you. You actually need the ginger in the ginger ale. Sorry, one of my colleagues is not feeling well, so I'm like,
that's okay.
I'm like, go get ginger ale, but she got Sprite. It's like, no, it has to be ginger ale.
Clearly, you're also not just the executive director, but take on more of a motherly role there.
I am Mama Bear.
Well, as a mama bear, what's it like to, be with these people as you're trying to fight for the building?
I have relationships with every single one of them. Right? They're my friends. They're my family. It's heart-wrenching. It really is heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
I know their stories, right? I know the trauma. I know, most of the people that stay here are Indigenous, Métis, or Inuit, 85 to 100% at any given time. Victims of residential schools, right? Victims of 60 Sscope, victims of day schools, or descendants of victims. And then we believe in them, and just to watch them move forward is fantastic, but to have no level of government be concerned about their well-being was really, really heartbreaking. Yeah.
I saw it was, before MLA Daniel Adams died, she had, sent a letter to Minister Squires asking, for immediate help. I guess you haven't heard anything back then from that?
No, she won't even return our emails.
Oh,
I know
I'm
she
sorry.
said in the press that we get lots of funding. We get no funding from her. People that are on EIA, their rent gets paid. We get $589 a month. That's room, board, and supportive housing. That doesn't cover our costs, right? That's everything. That's showers, that's toiletries, that's 3 meals a day. That's everything. Right. And then that employment opportunity, and people volunteer here. Yeah, we do culturally appropriate programming. We do all of that. She's not funding us. It's just a political spin.
How I guess you're in the position where you do have to talk to people who rely on you for all of these things that, in a matter of a month, it likely isn't going to be there. How do you help people through this? I mean, obviously this is a really hard time for you, but and you don't want to leave people just nowhere.
Yeah, this isn't about me, right? They deserve this building. This is their building. They deserve it. I'm not abandoning anybody. Nobody. And they know that. And I've told them that. I said, I'm not abandoning you. We're going to figure this out together. They deserve this building though. It's theirs. This building offers them so much opportunity. It's not a building, right? It's the opportunity that the building. We have a commercial kitchen, we have a bakery, we have a bike shop. They're all training, opportunities for them. All training for employment, all, purpose, right? People that one of the people that stays here, he used to be the guy you saw sniffing in between the WRHA corporate offices. Then he moved in here. And he used to get beaten up all the time because he's about my size. So they can get beaten up for money and whatever. Then he moved in here. He lived here for about 6 months. And then somebody decided that the colonial dream for him was to go and live in a bachelor apartment or a rooming house. I don't even know where he ended up living. And he went from being one of my best volunteers and, not seeing him there anymore, sniffing and getting beaten up, to going back, because he didn't have the support of here anymore, right? He wasn't, living in our dorm style housing. So he didn't, have the working and all of that stuff. And then he knocked on my door one day and said, "Can I please come back?" And he did. He's back upstairs doing it. Fan-freaking-tastic, right? He's going to some training programs. He's working with us. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I know people who go through your space too, they often very much have that give back mentality. So it's, not just they're getting help for themselves, but, people who are helping others, cutting hair and things like that. That all comes out of what happens in your building.
Yeah, exactly. The person who cuts hair, she lived with us. She just kind of stumbled upon us when we were at Arlington. Her rooming house burnt down. So she came to live with us, and then we ended up having to put everybody in a hotel for 3 weeks before we got this building. So she moved there with us. Then she moved here. She's going to hairdressing school. She's living independently now. She's clean, has been for well over a year. And she has her children back. And she's working. And she comes back here and cuts hair. Right? Those are because somebody believed in her, because we at Sscope believed in her. So she's living her dream.
Yeah.
And last time I saw her, she got a haircut really similar to mine. So,
Obviously, you've got an influence.
Apparently so. The old dinosaur that I am.
I think you're fine. Don't worry about that. So how much, dollar-wise, would you need to be able to stay in the building?
So Cinnamon Credit Union wants it's basically 1.5 million, right? Which also covers part of our renovation. Yeah. So I'm just asking for 500,000 from each level of government. I mean, that is nothing, right? The social return on investment, the amount of hospital stays that people don't have to stay in because of us, the number of days in court, the number of ambulance rides, the number of days in jail, right? I have people bailed out to me all the time. I have hospitals discharged to me almost every day. The police drop people off in my parking lot all the time. And half the time they drop them off behind my building. So we can't see them dropping them off because those people are barred from other shelters, right? And they know, and we don't bar or ban anybody for life ever, right? Sometimes people can't come for a day, a week, an hour, but we never ban anybody for life. Yeah, we're super low barrier. Matter of fact, we had somebody who, he was discharged from Grace Hospital, moved into a place, gang took over the place overnight. So he was back at the hospital again the next day. Couldn't go to another shelter because you have to be double vaxxed to go there. Can't go to any of the other shelters because he's got a service dog. So we got a call. Can he come here? Yep. So here he is.
How many people are usually in your shelter, either for housing or just to be around?
86.
Okay. So that's quite a bit of people.
46 in long-term supportive housing and 40 in our emergency shelter. And the only reason we did emergency shelter was because we're so short in Winnipeg of beds, right? And homelessness basically said, can you please do it? Because we weren't going to do it again. So
Yeah.
we are, and I'm glad we are. We're supposed to be actually, so everybody's supposed to come in at 7 o'clock at night and leave by 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's not working very well. So as long as they agree to participate in programming, they can stay with us all day.
Okay.
Right? It's
I,
really hard to throw your friends and family out.
for me, I'm just trying to wrap my head around, obviously we have seen a lot of mental health illnesses really come to light over the past year. A lot of people are really struggling with addictions, but a place like yours where clearly people are getting a lot of help is, as you said, not getting the help that you need to do that. Have you been given any kind of reasonings why not?
No. At first I was told that you don't know what you're doing. Well, I've been doing it. So we clearly know what we're doing, and we're trailblazers. And that's part of the problem, right? When you're a trailblazer, you're just setting the path forward. So they didn't believe in it. But to watch us, watch the success we're having. Watch the human beings, right? Yeah, watch people get reunited with their family. We have somebody who came to us pregnant. She was pregnant, she was using, right? Then she she came to us, stopped using, got healthy, we got her to Villa Rosa so that she got a baby. She's now living on her own. Baby is just fantastic. She's a chubby little 5-month-old nugget. And yeah, and she knows that she can come back here, and we're always here to support her when she needs us. So those are our successes, right?
Yeah. So what happens in a month's time when you potentially aren't in this building? What is in store for Sscope?
So we're going to keep running our social enterprises. I can do that out of the trunk of my car if I had to, in all honesty. And then we have to find somewhere for everybody to live. We have no choice. These are my people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for taking time to talk about something so difficult with me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you.
Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you think people should know?
That we are self-sufficient, right? Like our housing is a social enterprise. People who live in the housing, work in the housing, and the housing pays for itself. We're not looking for long-term operating funding. We're just looking for some money for the down payment on this building. That's all we need. And please, if you know somebody who needs help, who is really struggling with their mental health, please send them to us.